Hey, traders. What is up? It is Steve Talman here with Trade the Pool, and we have an earnings special for you today. We're going to be talking Nike and Constellation Beverages, both pretty big names in terms of their implications on the market looking forward, and both for pretty important quarters for the companies in particular. So we're going to get into that, but first, just a little look around the market I think will do us well because man, SPY has been absolutely ripping today, and I want to talk about it. Pulling back just a hair today, or in the past half hour, I should say, after tagging into that big 748 level. So I want to talk about a few things here, and then we'll get into the earnings. How's everybody doing today? What's going on in the chat? I see you, Nigel. How you doing, man? Been a big ripper today. Let's go full screen on SPY real quick. Talk about this. All right. So SPY, absolute barn burner of a move today. Essentially what we saw, if we look at the SPX, let's try an hourly chart. What we saw was a really nice reaction, a little dip and rip that was very, very actionable on the day here. Actually, really not much of a much of a dip, just a straight candle up to the key zero gamma level. Sorry, waiting for this to load here. There we go. What's up, Sammy Sensate 1984? What's up, Talk? How you doing, guys? How you doing, Joe? So we had our key gamma levels dialed in. Let's see if we can load them here. And I hear a doorbell too. We're gonna have a good panel for you today. What is up? You ready? Let's do it, baby. How you doing, Jesse?
Good. How you doing, brother?
I'm feeling it, man. It's been a fun day. Market's absolutely ripping for us. And it feels like that fear that we had last week just melting away, or earlier in the week,
Nice.
just gone. How you
Love
doing?
it. I love it. I'm doing pretty well. I took one trade earlier this morning with SpaceX. It was a good trade, so I'm happy. It's sitting in the green today. So, yep, it's been good. Josh and I, we had a good J&J show earlier, and now, soon and very soon, brother, we get to talk about Nike. It
Yes,
has been a
sir. Yes, sir.
flare of a stock. Wow. I've actually been looking this stock up now for a few months, and it is continuing to fall. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do today and what analysis you've definitely brought for us. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a tough year for Nike. It's been a tough couple years, and we'll have a lot to talk about in that regard. And you know what? That's kind of the theme of the day because STZ Constellation, they have not really been able to recover their bigger slide that they've had over the course of basically the same time frame here. Both of these stocks topped in about 2-3 years ago, and they've just been having a really hard time getting off the bottom. STZ in particular here, I don't know what this wants to do technically, but it's at a pretty key level for me. We're basically just underneath this big point of control at 140. And if we can't get over this on earnings, I think this one might need to make new lows. We do have a good amount of movement in the market, though, Jesse. So, how do you feel about maybe 5-10 minutes tops? Just going over, I want to talk about your SpaceX trade. I want to talk about SPX and just a few other things, namely the strength in semiconductors again. So, how about we do 10 minutes of that? That work?
Yep. Absolutely.
Awesome. Love it. Great. So let's start off just with the market as a whole. We had a few nice setups here. I did not take the SPY setup, but I have been watching it here and it's been working nicely. What we were looking for was essentially a breach of the 7450. If we could break above the 7450 in the morning session, then we had a good chance to go for that positive gamma, just reach up. Excuse me while I mouse over to it here. There we go. Okay, so this ascending triangle that we got in the morning was really, really nice. We essentially were testing once, twice, 3 times, 4 times this key zero gamma zone, this little, I don't know what color that looks like, dark beige, let's call it.
Sure.
When it broke through that, Jesse, man, it just did not look back. A really strong surge. And that's what you kind of look for whenever you break back into positive gamma, because then they're just in buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip mode all the way up. So we've got a really nice trend here today.
I like that.
And I want to see how far we can go. I know that we want to get to that SPY 750. We already got this big 7,500 on SPX. It's a major level for me. So now that we've kind of transacted that, I feel like the party's over for today, and it's all about can we hold above this I would say 74, 75, kind of where we were chopping in the morning session before the continuation. I think if we hold that, we're looking good for continuation onwards and upwards here on SPY. I'm loving that we've essentially kind of cut through the noise of all of these multiple highs and multiple lows here, or at least we're getting really close with this reclaim and a higher low and looking this strong with oscillators just crossing over when we have so much room to the upside now. That makes me feel really good about us being on the right foot here. Jesse, are there any names in the market? I know you were talking SpaceX, but are there any names I'm curious, that you see as leaders that are worth either adding to on this pullback or maybe just that you're really focused on going into the next couple weeks?
I've been focused on Intel, and it's interesting too because Intel's stock overall today looks kind of similar to what SPX, the one you just showed on the screen.
Mm.
So there's some similarities, obviously, in that stock and the way that it just moved, particularly today. But between Intel and Marvell and SpaceX, those three have been the ones that honestly have kept me captivated and me sort of locked in on every single day. What are their movements? Where are they going? We've had a couple of days of bearishness with Marvell, but man, it really came back today specifically and just
Mhm.
ripped to the upside. Intel as well. But both of those stocks really, really looking good long term to me, not just, of course, today, but I think that Marvell, we're going to break that $300 mark, and I think we're going to continue to be pushing up to the upside with it. Yeah, those are the ones that I particularly like. I trade those daily, and if I'm not going to trade it, I'm still watching it and watching the movements of it for sure.
I love it. I love it. I like that our heads are in the same space because Marvell, this is the one that we talked about entering at the close yesterday. I grabbed just a small amount just to keep me honest. I said it was a good entry. I wanted to put my money where my mouth was. It's working today nicely. Makes me wish I bought a little bit more, but I want to see it back test this 9 moving average that I got at 285, let's call it. Aligns with this nice volume shelf here, 286, 287, somewhere around there. And that's where I'd like to add in a little bit. And basically, I want to get a full position before we do the range break because I want to be able to trim a little bit and then perhaps buy a bit back more if it back tests. And if it just goes straight through the roof, then I want to have a nice sizable position because this is a very high confidence name for me. And I think that what I need to focus on in my trading is actually just sticking with the winning trades that I really believe in longer and not selling so early because that's something that just it kind of kills me, that I look back at some of my best trades and I still sold 50% early on in some instances, like Intel here. I was all out of shares by 70, on this gap up, I was all out.
A few weeks ago, I kind of set a tight stop loss in my other account that I had, just more that I swing trade with.
Mm.
And, it stopped me out. And I thought, well, I guess that's probably for the best, whatever. Maybe INTC, maybe that's all she wrote for now. But no, had I just given myself a little bit wider of a stop, that would have played out beautifully because it's still been going up, and I still think it shows signs of bullishness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd call this a high and tight flag at this point. That's where I drew it out like this, and it's been acting perfectly where it pops, retests that 9 moving average, and just kind of grinds its way up. Let me delete that. There we go. Now the gap up to new highs is forming a new flag, and this is tough. I'm assuming this was the day that stopped you out there yesterday, that big bottom wick.
No, so the one that I did was actually several weeks. It was a few weeks
Oh,
back.
okay.
It
Yeah.
was more like kind of that really bearish one there that you got kind of in the middle. Yep, it was probably in there
That'll do
that
it.
it was just like, okay, maybe we're just moving to the downside for a little bit. Maybe this thing just needs some time to breathe and recover at some point. But yeah, it was one of those days where things were just all looking red across the board, including Intel. And I just
Yeah.
thought, well, yeah, it's probably better that I do get out. But no, not really, because Intel has just made a nice move back to the upside.
But it's so tough though because that would have stopped me out too. I mean, in my book, I would have been sitting here going, okay, we made this low. It came up and showed strength 3 days in a row, but still had to get the sell. Makes sense. We need the higher low in this flag. So I would have been expecting it to catch here and then go up. And on this day here, I would have said, okay, this has got to be it, right? It tagged into my, pardon me, daily trigger here, tags into these wicks and finds a nice bullish candle, even pops above. So this day I would have been in despair mode. I would have been like, I'm just wrong, I'm just wrong. And I would have taken that stop for sure, especially with the close under that. And it just goes to show how in these leading names, if you do have a tight stop, I mean, there's 2 ways you could do it. You could have the tight stop and just look to get back in, or you could have a wider stop and really focus on basically instead of having a tighter stop, if you sell some into this really strong strength when it's overbought, for example, on the breakout here, you can see for 2 days it was essentially through this Bollinger Band, and just historically, mathematically, very often those will have to cool off. So it's a good time to trim into that strength, and then you can be buying into this 21 day. Then you can be just taking that ad off when I don't know, maybe on this day, so maybe it's just a small gain on that little piece, but it still is kind of shovel. It's kind of like your boat might be, you're not sure if your boat's sinking or not, but water's coming in and you're just trying to get water out as fast as possible. So in case it is sinking, in case this does just go down and down and down, this stop out is more like break even than for a red, it doesn't tag you as bad, essentially.
I hope in life it's more proverbial for me than literal. You never really want a pop or anything inside your boat, or a crack or anything like that. But speaking of Pops Mafia, good to see you in the chat. The Crow Trades, Tack, Nigel, our very own Josh Smith says he's going to come to the chat at some point, or he's going to come to the stream, I should say. And he also said that he got an email from Nike. So that's interesting. Maybe he can let us know about that.
Yeah, let us know. Is that a buy or a sell? It seems, I first inclination, auspicious. Second inclination, I don't know if they're sending out emails on their earnings. If they're like, please, just more sales, please, just buy something. Makes you a little. Maybe it's a cause for concern. Probably not.
But, do you buy Nike, Steve? Are you a Nike guy at all?
Oh, personally, I thought you meant the stock. I love Air Forces. I always have a just classic pair of white Air Forces. That's my go-to sneaker. Besides that, not a huge Nike head, but I think all my socks are Nike, except for my hiking socks. So
sure.
From the ankle down, I'm a big Nike stan. We can.
Nike too, man.
There you go. Okay.
I'm a Nike shoe guy. I've been one for a long time. So it's interesting. Their stock really has really subsided and gone down in the last several weeks, which I know we'll be getting to shortly. But I also have, just so you know, I also have Nike pulled up. We're going to try to trade it today. We're going to see what direction we're going to think it's going to go, and then we're going to go ahead and do some live trading on here, as well as Steve's wonderful, amazing analysis that he always brings.
And Jesse's totally not sarcastic. You're just too kind. No, I appreciate it.
That wasn't a massive compliment. We'll just take it as a medium compliment, Steve.
Fair enough. I guess I can handle that. So yeah, let's get into it. We'll start with just real quick, a little around the horn. This was made an hour ago when I thought I was streaming Jesse. So the price is a little outdated. We're a little bit higher. SPY almost a full % now, I believe. Let me double check. It is cooking, that's for sure. So we have some good upward trajectory on all of our indices here. We actually like to see IWM, small caps, underperforming. That shows us that pair trade that we see so often between the Qs, mega cap tech, and IWM, the small cappers, are kind of, they're doing that seesaw back and forth. When the market was going down, it was led down by the mega caps, and IWM was surprisingly strong. Now we're seeing that kind of ballast get transferred back into the QQQs there, I believe. That's what we're seeing. So nice outperformance there. That makes us feel really good in the market. Interesting to see Bitcoin still very weak. Still not a buy for me. I'm waiting, but I'm just not seeing what I want to. We were also watching the kind of mean reversion trades, just like the IWM and QQQ pair trade. There's the software and hardware pair trade. There's the guys cashing the checks and the guys writing the checks. So there was a mean reversion trade for a couple days there where IGV was showing relative strength to SMH, but that has, gone the way of the dodo, like so many who try to fade semiconductors. It's just a tough trade, right?
Difficult to fade semiconductors. Good luck.
You can do the same thing. Like when it's overextended, you can try. You'll probably get 5%, 10%. It could be a great trade, but man, you better be ready to get out.
Right,
You get a day or two, maybe.
Yeah.
We love to see VIX as well, just getting flattened here. And this is looking like it wants to just puke into a lower regime. And that's what we'd love to see. If we can test this 15 and get back to the 14 handle is where we really are going to be in just mega drift up, grind up mode. I'm not even really looking forward to that if that's what we get, Jesse, because I like a little volatility.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring when you just buy the dip every single time, but that's kind of the environment we seem to be returning into this week, at least early. So watch the VIX as it tests this kind of bear flag looking pennant. I think it's heavy. All right. So this is the overall where we're at on the day. We also have, we'll finish it up with USO. trying to hold steady, but it's pretty darn weak still. Just testing this 50% fib and this last line of defense here at the 105, 106 level before it just plummets on back down to the 90, maybe the 85 handle where I'd expect it to find some buyers, perhaps down to the 82 at worst. And we talked mostly about, or yeah, I think we went over the sectors already, but yeah, tech's leading, real estate taking, or actually leading on the way down. That's interesting. Consumer staples, communications, all and utilities, all of these risk-off trades getting beat, just showing us that the market wants uppies, industrials, technicals, and materials, or technology and materials, all pointing up. And
Even
yeah,
the
like we said,
market wants uppers, not downers.
it's true. I mean, who doesn't? Who wants to be a bummer? Who wants to be a wet blanket, not spy? You know, it's a team of winners. It's a basket full of only the best companies, so you got to expect it'll do well. All right, now we got to get on into our earnings. We got some good stuff for y'all here. Let me shift on over to my script and we'll get on into it.
Can't wait. You didn't hear me. I was saying I was watching Forrest Gump the other night with my sons, and the song that came on was the San Francisco song. I won't sing it because we don't want copyright, whatever. But, you know, when you come to San Francisco, be sure to wear flowers in your hair.
Okay, yeah.
The oldie, but I was like, oh, San Francisco. It makes me think of Steve.
That's me. That's funny you mentioned that. I was just, I saw on Twitter, somebody was like, San Francisco is the only city in the world where you can say you're from there and just randomly get death threats. Like, I don't know why people just hate San Francisco. Never mind. I do. I get it. But I'm doing my best to rehabilitate our reputation one stream at a time.
It's a beautiful place, and I want to come see you sometime. So you know, I'm not heavy against San Fran.
Hey, you know, it is an absolutely beautiful place, and every once in a while the people are okay too. Getting into our earnings here, we got 3 for you today. Definitely very different title or different stories here in Nike, Constellation Brands, and Progress Software. I threw a third one in there just because it is on the ballot today. It's a very small one, so it gets one slide. We'll talk about it at the end. But Nike is the main event here. So sitting around 41 and change. The turnaround thesis is on trial here. The bar is set at 13 cents for EPS, and revenue's having a hard time. So we're going to talk about the details here, but that's kind of the bullet points for Nike. It's what we really want to see is an inflection in this quarter, and we will see. we will see. I'm a little bit skeptical here. The chart is a little skeptical too, and so are analysts, and that's a triple whammy. We're going to talk about the details that could change my mind going forward. But first, let's get into these implied moves. What is on the table for tonight? We have Nike plus or minus 9.1%, which is a pretty big measured move for, or pretty big implied move for it there. So a 9% move in one direction or the other would put this either above its key point of control, which is sitting at 44. It would put it right about 45.50 or so, and make it look a lot better, like it might have been a failed auction down, a failed breakdown, and a recovery on a technical level, reclaiming the 9, the 21, and the 50-day moving average at once. That's if it gets the measured move to the upside. But if we do not see the materialization of commentary in the forward guide, if they are not hitting this inflection point, well, then we could see the downside target get hit, and that would be roughly 37.50 or so, give or take a little bit. And Jesse, if we look out at the monthly here, there's 2 levels to the downside where I think this thing could ultimately settle at if it's not going to catch tonight. Those levels are a ways down. I'm seeing like 39, 38, 37. That's the measured move, and that's like the last line of really, that's where I'd like to see it catch, and that's the top of this kind of multi-month flagged for about half a year before breaking out amazingly strongly and never looking back. So if it holds here, then it's looking a lot better than if it needs to come down to this kind of last line of defense I have. And that's where these monthly wicks are located. And that'd be kind of like a Josh Smith wick down bounce play, something like that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't get that move. I just look at these monthly candles and it's so grim to me, because to me, this is a strong attempt to catch it. This is a strong attempt to catch it, both after a major gap down. If you want the failed auction, you want to see it after that major gap down. You want to see it within a couple of weeks, a month at least, start to turn that corner. Well, it tried for 2 months, and then we just swept those wicks. If we can't close above like that 45 that we talk about, that kind of neckline of the prior month's open, I think this one's going to get cooked on down to that 35 over the next, I don't know, maybe call it a month there. So let's talk about what we're looking for specifically in the story here. So,
Good to see you, the
Nike.
writer in the chat.
Yo, what's up, dude?
No trades.
Welcome on in. We have. Where is it?
I mean, I'm going to be just
We have a lot of slides.
real quick side note. I'm just going to be very surprised if this thing moves heavy to the upside. I'm very bearish on this, particularly this evening, and trading it. I could be totally wrong, of course, right? But I'm just the way this thing has moved. And I think, what was it? The CFO just left or got canned. I need to look that up and actually verify this. But I know something happened with the CFO. We were talking about this earlier today. Yeah, but carry on.
It's a tenuous story, right? There's a lot of kind of moving parts that work. The bulls, at least, have to kind of take at face value. It's kind of a faith-based trade that their timeline for this turnaround point, this inflection point, is in fact coming to a head in this Q4 print here that we're getting. If it doesn't, and if the language isn't clear on that, then there's no reason this shouldn't go down lower, especially when we're seeing other shoe companies actually looking very strong. Here's ONTO. I forget exactly what brand they have, but these are just flying to the upside. And Deck is another one I'm watching. These guys are Hoka. This one looking a little bit weaker, but I'm just waiting for a reclaim of this 200-day, and I think it could be a good long-term investment too. Very bullish over the past couple of years, and I think this is flagging for more.
Change Hoka to hookah, man, and we got some real shoes there. Some shoes that are just smoking. Some smoking shoes.
There you go. Were you a big hookah guy, Jesse?
I have tried hookah a couple of times back in college, and it was actually a fun experience.
That's definitely a college experience.
I don't think I'll ever do it again, but it was fun.
I enjoyed it, and I am glad it's in the past. I just remember the mornings after feeling like, oh my God, I smoked so much, just the mass of tobacco. Oh, okay. Anyways, Nike, what are we looking for here? So the setup tonight is essentially consensus expects 13 cents in earnings per share, 10.85 billion in revenue, and that's like roughly a 2% revenue decline year over year that they're looking for. So it's a low bar. We all know that going in. That EPS number compares to 35 cents last quarter and significantly higher levels a year ago. So the degradation in earnings structure is real, and it's intentional too. The management has essentially been absorbing tariffs, clearing aged inventory, and rebuilding wholesale at the expense of near-term profitability. So here's why I'm actually watching this one closely. Despite the depressed numbers, they have beaten analyst EPS estimates in 8 consecutive quarters, so that's noteworthy. The consensus bar at 13 cents may be a sandbag setup that could allow them to kind of really juice their numbers, at least compared to the street's whispers, and potentially do a look below and rip kind of look, because we do have these two lows where it tried to catch, like I mentioned, on the monthly, and we are under there. But man, if they do sandbag and this earnings comes in right on cue, maybe they're wizards. Maybe they have a quant office, and they're sitting there going, this is the perfect time. They activated our trap card. Now we can launch it on the shorts. We'll see. So the question is whether a beat even matters if the forward guidance continues to point to a slow, painful recovery. So Elliott Hill came back to run the company in late 2024, and he framed the Win Now program as a multi-quarter reset. He called should be on the next slide. He called fiscal Q4, tonight's quarter, the low point of that program, and that framing definitely it matters. I feel like I've said it multiple times now, but it's important because that guide is really what it's going to come down to. That's where we'll see little bits of hints and notes on the trajectory of the improvement. And if it is looking good, then the stock has a lot of room. If the guidance is flattish, then the skeptics like I know Stifel and RBC, I believe, are in that camp. The timeline just got longer again. So that is going to be the name of the game there. There's 2 structural stories, and we have 4 minutes here. There's 2 structural stories that we're tracking inside this print. And I think China is kind of at the heart of it here. So going on here, essentially the most watched segment for Nike sales should be China. Management guided for 20% revenue decline in Q4 to roughly 1.18 billion. So that isn't a new story. China's been under pressure for multiple quarters, but the size of the expected decline is notable regardless. The drivers there are a deliberate marketplace cleanup. So Nike is pulling back on low quality shipments, reducing inventory in digital channels, and ceding some ground to local competitors in China, that is, that have been gaining share aggressively. So this is a managed decline, and it's not a competitive collapse, but the market's going to want to see a credible bottom there in China for that trajectory to kind of get back on course there. And then we can price in a recovery. Going on, I do want to touch base on STZ real quick. So we're going to just run through a real quick recap of the bull and bear case for our number one watch here in Nike. And here is the options range once again. It's a 9.1% move to either way. So roughly 45 or 37.50. So the bull case is that Q4 comes in above the sandbagged EPS bar. That China decline is at or better than the 20% guidance, and fiscal year 27 guidance signals a return to revenue growth, even 2 or 3%, and that'll really be able to kind of tie this whole bull case together. The bear case is the 13-cent beat happens, but the fiscal year 27 guidance is flat to down on revenue. Management walks back any optimism about the pace of the recovery, and then that'll just really tank this thing. Okay, so that's what we got for Nike there. Going into STC, this is Constellation Brands. So they are at right around 136 bucks. Let's go to their chart, see if they're sliding into earnings a little bit or recovering. Okay, so they've been recovering. This is what I wanted to see. This is a strong daily candle, and this is going to help color my bias a little bit because it does change the fact that, man, especially into the close here, this thing is ramping fast, guys. Look at that, up 2.5% in the past 20 minutes. So really, really quick. I'm just going to hit you with the quick and dirty here. This is a name that essentially, shoot, where is it? Okay, yeah, Wall Street consensus is $3.20 EPS on 2.39 billion in revenue. That revenue figure represents a roughly 4% decline year over year. Last quarter, they printed 190 in EPS and beat by about 10.8%. So that's solid execution, but the stock has been under persistent pressure here, and that's primarily due to the forward margin story. It's gotten more complicated there. So their business is almost entirely Mexican beer, Modelo, Corona, Pacifico. They also do wine and spirits, but that's a rounding error at this point, and management's been deliberately shrinking them. So when I say Constellation earnings, what I really mean is how is Modelo doing and what are the economics of selling Mexican beer in a tariff environment? We'll get into that shortly, but I want to focus on Nike here after the bell. So feel free to switch your screen over if we do get into anything or if you see anything there.
Yep, I will get that ready. I'm on the chart.
Awesome. And so Nike is going to be 15 minutes after the bell. We do have a little bit more time to talk about it, but I did want to watch what it was doing right after the bell. I like to kind of see see how the candle flips on that first 1 and 5 minute flip after the bell into an earnings print, and basically kind of get a hint on, with the pressures and the hedging requirements or responsibilities, I should say, that are in the cash session, when those kind of go off and those magnets aren't in effect, which way does it go? Which way do buyers, new participants that are just gambling on earnings, place their bets? So far, a little bit of buying, like to see that. And STZ, this one is coming up in 5 minutes. We're seeing it pushing even after the bell here too. So let's continue talking about them for the next 3-4 minutes while we get ready for the trade, Jesse. And what I'm thinking is, this 400, I wish. This 140 level, really important to me because it's an hourly trigger for me. It hasn't reclaimed this in quite a while, and usually when they do reclaim an hourly trigger, you get a nice push. We also have the daily trigger above at 143. And let me double check and see what the average or what the implied move is here. 5.5% puts us at, from the close, that puts us at, call it 146, but I think it could overshoot to the 148 weekly target. If we don't factor in this 5 minute pop at the end of the day, then we could say the 5% move would put us right at that daily trigger. That's at 143.50, 143.30. Watching those levels.
Yeah, we're at 141.50 right now after the bell here.
Okay. Yeah, so it's reclaimed yesterday's close, reclaimed the hourly trigger. Not a bad look there so far. So Constellation, what are they about? It's literally just Modelo. And I love Modelo, don't get me wrong. But the stock is down about 26% year to date heading into tonight. And analyst consensus price target is 176. We're seeing another push to 142 now already, 142. So that's a 21% implied upside from current levels. And the market is either too pessimistic about Constellation's ability to manage through the headwinds, or the analysts haven't fully marked down their targets yet. So tonight's print and the guidance will clarify which camp is closer to right there. And we got a few more points to talk about here. So the specific thing I'm watching here is the beer operating margin. So this is where the earnings story gets more complicated heading into fiscal 2027. Prior guidance has been or had beer operating margins at 39 to 40% for fiscal year 2027. I heard a ding. What's up, Jesse?
Yeah, bud. I am going to try to get us in the trade right now. I'm going to buy the ask. We're going to buy 20 shares just to get us in and start a position.
You got to do it. You got to put some on the table, right? So as always, guys, we're having a good time. We're having some fun. Earnings, always a gamble, but this is why we use our trade the pool accounts. So worst case scenario is, we get stopped out. And very worst case scenario, if all hell breaks loose, we still ain't losing more than just a small amount of pocket change in the bigger picture, right, Jesse?
That's right. That's right.
All right. I love it. So yeah, I'm a fan. I think that this one is oversold, and I just really like when a stock puts in a really bullish candle on the daily into earnings. That makes me feel like we can at least push up a little bit more. Right now, 142 to 142.65 is the 9 and the 21 moving average, as well as the daily trigger at 143. So that confluence there, along with the point of control, it's going to be a little sticky, a little messy, and it looks like we are doing a back test of the 140 here. Let's see if this holds, Jesse. This is where I'd like to see it hold. But again, we have the print in 2 minutes. So because of that, I'm going to go into our bull and bear case real quick here. So the bull case, Modelo volumes hold or grow modestly despite consumer pressure. Beer operating margin lands at the top of the 37 to 38 range, and management either narrows or raises the fiscal year 2027 EPS guidance. In that scenario, Constellation is a brand fortress trading at a significant discount to intrinsic value, and the analyst target at 176 suddenly looks conservative. So the stock is still down this much because of the macro perception, not fundamental beer demand. The beer demand is holding up, let me tell you. If this anecdotal evidence is anything here, Jesse, the beer demand is holding up. So the bear case. Volume growth in Modelo is softer than expected. Beer margins land at the low end or below that reset range, and the tariff uncertainty forces management to keep guidance wide or guide conservatively. Those are all the things we're looking for. If you're a bear on STZ here, if Q1 is where the elevated marketing spend hits hardest in volume,
it goes up. It went up. Wow. It went up. 44. We're up.
Who cares about the bear?
134.
I was trying to beat the buzzer.
I'm going to sell some of our position, make a little profit, huh? How about that?
There we go. Lock it in, and let's see if we get continuation now. So 142.85 from where we were just 10 minutes before close is just about our measured move or implied move. So I don't mind that. You could look at that 2% juice right at the end of the day as saying like, hey, we got a little bit more to reach for here. They want that 150 is what I hope is true. But I like playing contingencies, right? So we take some off, we lock in a good trade, and now we can rock and roll if we do get more continuation to that upside. Looks like it's good so far, hitting 140 there, and it's a pretty wide spread, so careful on hitting that ask. You can probably wait for your spot and get filled, hopefully, but it is pushing pretty good here at 144.45 now. Ooh, okay.
Wow.
So that's spread. Reaching on up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you just chase it. Trade carefully, guys. But remember, this isn't something that's going to move 20% or anything. This is a high quality long-term company. What I would want to see is this 9-minute moving average here. So that's my system. Like we talk about very frequently, if you watch me trade a lot, I want to chase every single candle. Every single candle I want to chase. So I have to buy into moving averages. Otherwise, I get myself in trouble, right?
We're also in this Nike trade as well. I got us in here at 41.20 to the downside. So we are also in profit at the moment with Nike.
Look at you sniping. All right. So 41. You said 41.20?
Yeah. Yep. 41.20. We're in at 41.20.
Look at Jesse over here. Sniper McGee getting 2 points or 2% already there. A little bit of a wick up, but this is looking a little bit dire here. So let's see if the earnings come out for Constellation yet. I'll get those right out to you.
It's looking good overall. So STZ, what are we doing now on this? Looks like we'd made a move back down. Ooh, I took my eyes off that for a minute, and we're down a little bit. So
that's why you locked it in. That's why he locks some in. I think it's going to hold here at the 9-minute. That's what I'd hope for. Maybe come back to 140 again. That's what I'd like to see. But of course, we should check in with these numbers first. So let me stop talking, start searching.
Ooh, Nike moving back to the upside, and it's testing that VWAP and going a little bit above that in the 200 EMA as well.
How we feeling? How we feeling? Whoa, okay, that looks pretty strong. And their earnings shouldn't be out yet. So let me.
And Nike's still moving up, man. Hey, wanted to let everybody know if we get 50 likes for this video, just 50 likes, guys. Hit the like button. We'll give away a 25K eval account tomorrow. So hit that like button, please. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well.
Appreciate that. Absolutely, Jesse. By the way, I didn't want to interrupt you there, but I think it's fading. It hit the target to the upside on the day. It got rejected at the 42 pivot that I really would like to see it. It's testing point of control, so it could catch, but on the 15-minute, not the worst. Let's see if this wick does hold and if these moving averages come up to support it here shortly. So let's see. I still don't see the STZ print. I'll be keeping an eye on it, though. Keep refreshing here. And I want to see some blood in the streets. I want to see this being the wick up to wash people out. If it goes through that wick, I would imagine it probably keeps going to its measured move to the upside, which would put it at the very least, 43.50-ish to 44.50-ish, I believe we said. I know we said 45. Oh, I forgot. It's 9%, not 5%. So yeah, the 45.50.
Okay. 45, 48. Yeah, I'm going to
call it 45.
But I'm going to try to average this position a little bit more.
I like it. We're over our moving averages, and that was a gnarly top wick. As long as we, as long as we respect some level, I think that this is still I think it's giving us a better look, honestly.
Right.
That's all I'm seeing.
Let's take a look at STZ trade as well. Ooh, we need it to go back up to the upside here because we tapped VWAP. Looks like we may have found support on VWAP. But we're definitely down on this position.
Well, I think that what we're seeing here is basically we're supposed to get the print 4 minutes ago and we haven't. So the market kind of ran up into the print and now I'm still not seeing it.
Wow.
So I'll let you guys know when we get that in, but that could be a little bit of reason for that delay. We do have another one reporting that we didn't have time to get to. PRGS, we had too much to talk about for the ones that mattered. These guys posted Oh, I'm sorry, I lied to you. These guys have not posted anything yet either. So we didn't miss anything. But I'll let you guys know when they do. So nice. Nike testing support at that VWAP here. So let's hope for a lower low on this push up. We'll hope for buyers to kind of run out of steam here right into the print, which should be coming in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We can also look for some other levels of interest here. And this is basically just heck. I don't know what this is going to do. I'd like to say it's a bear flag. I'd like to say it's something like this, bear flag, and it tried to push out the top and rejected here. So now it washed out the bottom, washed out the top. All I can say is that we've kind of reset very short-term positioning, I'd say, in that regard. You got a chance to cash out long or short if you had limit orders waiting there. Obviously, happened in an instant, so not really tradable unless you have those limits in. But I think that we're going to get our roll here. At least I hope so.
We're in 40 shares with Nike to the short side. I did a little averaging in here so we don't have as much to go to the downside for it to turn around and start getting us in profit.
Nice. And I'm seeing point of control at 41.13 after hours here. So that's a level I could see transacting and either holding or flushing out. Obviously contingent on those reports. Speaking of reports, I have STZ numbers here for us. Let's see. Reported EPS 3.79, comparable EPS 3.43. We have net sales 2.43 billion, and that's down 3%. Beer plus 2% sales growth, leading category, so that was important, remember. So generated $485 million in free cash flow and returned $400 million to shareholders. The fiscal year 27 EPS outlook is 11.50 to 12.20 there. So it is a double beat. The market is not rewarding them yet. So let's take a look under the hood shortly. I'm going to be looking for more color here and get right back to you on this. Underwhelming double beat as of now.
Underwhelming. Yes, it is underwhelming. It's very underwhelming on STZ.
it's under that volume shelf. This is an area where I mean we traded most of our volume at the 139.20 here. We
Yep.
do have a bigger spike down or a decent sized spike at 137 as well. So if we don't reclaim this volume profile peak here at 139.30ish or so, that might be our next step. At least maybe a test in with VWAP, but hopefully as algos skim through this, read through this, we start getting a little bit of traction, maybe into the call as well.
Yeah.
So key takeaways here looks like the beer business continued to outperform the U.S. The U.S. beer category and remained the number one dollar share gainer. So that in tandem with the return of over 400 million to shareholders through dividends and buybacks. I mean, it seems like the company isn't in bad shape, and it's just about that perception, and it's just about whether or not we have hit that inflection point. I'm seeing 140 holding so far, and I like that. That's where you want to see it. So some commentary from management here. Our portfolio continues to benefit from the strength of our brands, disciplined commercial execution, and our ability to connect with consumers across a broad range of occasions. So they're saying, we're drinking Modelo for weddings, we're drinking Modelos for quinces, we're drinking Modelos just in general. You know, the demand is not going down, and it's just about, well, what were those expectations and what were those guidance, or what was that guidance in particular? So I'm going to keep on digging through here, but we have Nike in 2 minutes coming out. So that's going to be the biggest factor on the day here. We got the second wick down. Now it's trying to test the retest of VWAP now after cracking. So you could look at this two ways, huh, Jesse? Are we feeling high or low double bottom, or are we feeling this is just the crack before the flush?
For Nike?
Yeah, for
Sorry,
Nike.
my apologies. I'm looking at STZ.
You're good. You're good.
Take a look. So, oh man, I'm thinking this could be a flush coming up. That's my sentiment.
I hope so. I feel it too. I can feel it in my bones.
I can feel it. We're in profit for Nike. That's nice. A little bit of profit.
There we go. There we go. And under VWAP, I feel so much better. But again, 1 minute into the print, so buckle up, buckaroos. We're gonna get spicy here.
Spicy.
You gotta get spicy, you know.
Gotta get spicy.
And we do have a good amount to talk about with Nike in terms of like what is going to turn the stock around. What is the future of this company? You see a lot of their brand ambassadors getting old. They're retiring. Ronaldinho, he took off his shoes after not doing very well in a game, I heard. And I mean, sure, he put other Nikes on, but still, is this the end of an era? You know, I don't know. At the same time, we have them signing Caitlin Clark, bona fide. Whoa, my goodness gracious, there's earnings, and that's a big candle to the upside.
What?
Okay.
What?
Is this a turnaround story? Is this Caitlin Clark?
What is this?
This is okay. If you are long, this is an area where I could see some pullback into the daily trigger here. As you see the wick down here, I would be locking some in there. And yeah, if this is going to keep going, that is where it will back test. We are seeing the loss of this so far. And let me get these numbers for you.
I bought
Decent wick here.
I sold the bid, so that way we have less. Yeah, okay, we're already back in profit.
Back in profit?
Back in profit.
Oh, baby. Very nice. Way to handle that. And look at the massive wick down. Selling hard off that.
Now we're in profit. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about there. Okay, all right. So what are we going to do next is the question. We tagged the daily trigger. We should come back down and test the weekly now in my book. Essentially, what I want to see is the second we lose this one, or 41-21, we can flush even harder. There we go, baby. All right.
Let's go.
We didn't quite sweep this wick yet. Trying to put a bottom in. I'm having a hard time believing this is strong. Let's get the numbers out here. It is a double beat, but they only beat revenue by 1%. So the earnings per share is showing me that they actually beat by 454%. So that is a massive sandbag like we talked about. Let's see how the market responds to this, though, because they're still selling the dang thing off that hourly trigger. A little bit of a bid now probably is that rest of the algos read that same number that I did. But, you know, that is fascinating to watch. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, if I'm completely honest with you, Jesse. That is a big sandbag and a big beat. But there was a big sell order after that came out. And that was very obvious, right? Like that 450, that was a bright green number. So algos did pick up on that very fast. And that's what ripped it. And then they sold it after that while knowing that information. How's it going to play out? I just got to trust my system. Through the bottom wick there at 40.68, this thing dies. If it squeezes through the top wick, which it shouldn't, well, then the majority who shorted there are wrong, and the majority can get squeezed because they do not have the. It's like when you think you have a good hand in poker, but somebody has three aces or something
Right,
crazy, and you're like,
exactly.
well, shoot, I was really sure, but you know what? Someone was really sure. So we'll see how this one plays out. I got to be a technicals trader on here. For me, I just
I
if
don't know,
that
man.
was enough, I
Too much
don't think we would
ball.
have seen that big of a sell pressure after that algorithmic pop. So that makes me very suspicious.
Yes.
Otherwise, in any
Look
other
at us. Here we
scenario, I'd
go.
say
Here we
that
go.
seems
Now
like
we're
a good sandbag. But
now we're
oh, are
fall.
we getting it?
I like it. I like it.
Come on, baby.
I'm gonna take some profit here.
Fair enough.
I'm
This is
gonna
point of
take
control. We could wake up here. I think that it's starting to lose this inflection point and wants to go on down. But I like those covers. Now, when
Yep.
we pop up like this, you're not sweating. If it goes green, hey, we've already trimmed multiple times here, and I love the ad by the way on that pop. So let's see. We're still just digesting, negotiating, stuck in this chop, in this slop. Watch the 4107. That's point of control, and then the 4069. That's that other wick down there for a continuation. Otherwise, I think we're catching our breath for just a minute or two here at least after that big wick up. Let's see a little more consolidation before this settles one direction or another, and let's find some more commentary on here too. Well, that was pretty spicy already.
That was spicy. I like that. That was definitely some movement. Yeah, this has definitely been an entertaining earning stream already.
Yeah, I want to see how this plays out. We do have some bottom wicks here, but I'm seeing 15 seconds left on the candle. Let's see where this closes. Bulls, you see them flashing it up here, trying to close it, push it up, and expand, but there is a seller here. So 7 seconds left. We see who takes over in the end of this candle. Bears trying, but they might be getting backed off here on this 1 minute. That was a strong close by the Bulls. Let's see if they go for continuation. Going.
Come on, fall, baby, fall.
Bears still standing there, still holding that little line at 41.73. 41.73. We'll do a little mini charting here too. Small seller there. The buyer off this zone here.
Is this going to push up?
It's got the expansion candle here. I don't like that. It can run wicks here and here pretty quickly. This is where the area where it's kind of hollow space up into this point, I think, where the seller really stepped in off this 43.50, 44-ish. So let's see. I got to wait for the candle closes. I have been burnt so many times speculating, and then they trap you in the last 10 seconds, and then I go, oh, well, that's why you wait for the candle to close. Maybe I'll learn some other time, but I still like play calling it beforehand, but see that look above and rejection? That happens so often, and it still is it's like a doji, right? It's indecision. Exactly. And now Bulls tried, now Bears get a chance.
There we go.
And it's all about which side can push harder and break the actual structure, break this consolidation. Come on, baby. Back to point of control. They're tapping in here. We want to see how hungry these passive, supportive Bulls are. Let's see if they get passive aggressive and start pushing this thing to the downside.
Come on, push.
Point of control still found buyer. So this is getting compressed. This range is tightening. They can't keep getting away with this, Jesse.
Can't keep doing this.
It's got to break sooner or later.
We have a giveaway. Do we have a giveaway that we're actually giving away right now, Ayush? I see that we're going to give away one free 25K evaluation if we reach 50 likes on this stream. Is there a giveaway right now? Tomorrow
giveaway.
Okay, great. So if we get 50 likes tonight on this stream, we're going to give a 25K eval account tomorrow to one lucky winner.
Excellent. Okay, so to clarify, Jesse, it sounds like we got one giveaway now, and if we do reach the 50, then we're good to go for two. So we can rock and roll there. Okay, we got the air horn.
I am so locked in this trade right now. My apologies, Ayush. Okay, let's do the giveaway.
210 watching, guys. Come on, hit that button. We want to give it away. So Nike here still so tight into this 1 minute, 9 moving average. It's just getting pinched by these 2 moving averages. We got to wait for the break of the prior little swings at 42 or 41. Nice and easy math there. STZ, by the way, Jesse, it's kind of coming back here. It's kind of looking not too shabby. Like 140 handle might be holding up.
Ooh, nice. That was a good candle. Ooh, man, look at that.
And there's that widespread coming into effect, right? It opened low, closed high. We like that. We like that. All right. Oh, Mike calling out BE moving up. This is one that I entered today. So awesome. I love to hear that. What's it doing? Is it over 310 yet? Wake me up when it's, oh my goodness. It's, whoa. All right, guys. Well, happy birthday to me. BE is up 15% in after hours. I don't know why. Whoa. But I bought a bunch of BEG, the leveraged. So sick. Whoa.
No, that can't be accurate. I don't know what that's. The what in the world? No, we did just
tarnation.
Hey, Nike just fell. Did you see this? Holy cow!
Are we just winning left and right?
We are. It's just a night of winning. Winning. Holy cow! I need to
give it to me, baby. Come on. All right, Jesse. Are we locking some in at 40 here? It's not quite at 40, but this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Short, go long, bid, buy the bid. Let's.
I love in this little wick up here. I bet this is probably a short entry, even believe it or not, for further downside. But I'm a greedy boy, so
greedy. We got 20 more shares left. That was a good trade.
Excellent. So measured move to the debt. We have so much room, Jesse. If this thing wants to give out, I think this is started, not ending. I think this is the crack-a-lack, and I think this wick up is going to fade, and we're going to die and print with our 20 shares. I love it.
Well, in that case, I'm keeping these 20 shares then. If we're going to go to further to the downside,
keep them in your pocket. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it's the feel I got. That's the feel I got.
I feel it too.
Awesome. And I love that we are all on the same page in this community, baby. Talk's been absolutely just spitting pure alpha here, talking about this sector going ham. He's been saying GEV. That's my baby. I've been riding with him on that one since about 600. We got power. We got cat. We got deer. We got basically infrastructure. We got power and energy and tractors, apparently. But man, my choice was BE, Bloom Energy. Oh, man. And I feel like that was a good one. I entered at 295 today, and I was like, man, I missed this. This is up 10, 15% higher than when I was looking at it and wanting it. But hey, it's up a lot more than that now. So always look for those leaders. I just want to make sure,
Steve, because it sounds like you understood it better than I did. Are we announcing a giveaway tonight, right now? Or are we just doing the giveaway 25K if we get 50 likes for tomorrow?
I'm pretty sure we're announcing one quite shortly. Ayush, is that true? Okay, people can participate right now. We're giving away 2 accounts, and you can enter right now, like we said, but we're going to be drawing it tomorrow. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, and we should be good to go. So Crow saying BEX. I didn't even know that was a thing. I last time I did this, I did BEG. So which one has better liquidity? I did BEG, which is how much volume did it trade today? BEG trading. All right, my trading view's been wonky, and I haven't been able to see volume. That's very strange.
Really?
Yeah, not like the actual the number value. Very strange.
This Nike trade right now is interesting. It's continuing to actually go back up. We'll see if it continues to push, but we are well below the 9, but well below VWAP. Hopefully this will falter and fail for us, and we can continue to make some profits with our little baby 20 shares that we got left.
I love it. These wick ups here, these are weak sauce to me. This is limp. I think it's going to tag this 9, and they're just waiting to hammer it off the 9. Maybe they reach up to the 21, and then I'd be like, give me more. Give me more short. That's right. Because for me, it's broken. It's broken structure.
Yep.
We got all the good news we're going to get. We're still well under the measured move. We've cracked it. There is a lot of volume here that it could get stuck on. But if it comes up and this sells, then boy, I think we got room.
Could we call this like the 4th knock?
Who's that?
1, 2, 3, 4, and then fall right here. Speaking of knock.
Sure could.
And knocking on the door, knocking.
There he is.
How we doing, man? Nike, a little lackluster, double beats to go nowhere.
But Josh, you know who knew? Wow, nobody knew. But you know who got short and is making money? Jesse.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
mean, I
cooking.
said, yeah, this is a sub 40 for me. I put this on the Discord. So seeing this, like we talked about this yesterday, definitely going short on Nike. I think this continues to go down and dumps away here. Oh, I'm like, I hear Avery talking. I'm like, who's Avery talking to? I'm like, oh yeah, the dogs. I'm like, I just hear her talking out there. I'm like, who is she calling for? I'm like, oh yeah, our 87 dogs that we have. But yeah, good, Jesse. Where'd you get in at?
We
Look at
got
it. Here
in
comes the 40.
a
Here
couple
she
of
comes. Here
times
she
actually.
comes. Here she
Boom.
goes.
And falling. Our first
Boom.
one was at 41.45. It had
There's
a
a crack.
huge move up. We averaged in. I averaged in more chairs at 43.27. That
Okay.
took us
Beautiful.
down here to an average. I got in, and then we started taking profit from there.
Okay. Look
Started
at
taking
it.
some profit. Yep.
Look
And
at
now
He
we are falling.
he absolutely crushed the management of this one. Super proud of how Jesse handled this one. He got involved as it was starting to work. Then it cooked us on one candle, but we hung in the pocket. Not only did we not freak out, he actually basically top ticked. We're going to call it a top tick. 43.30, 43.27, I think he said, something like this, right into our daily high time frame trigger. Beautiful average down. Within 10 seconds, he said, I didn't even register that he was in more. And he's like, okay, now we're back to break even. Sick. Awesome. And then just incremental trim as we came into point of control where we had no idea if it would catch. And then we got the crack. We traded that impulse, took some more off the table. We didn't sell all. We waited for the moving average to catch up. We got the bigger crack, and now I think we're rocking and rolling. So
And guess what? We're rocking and rolling because the views are just killing today. We're gonna give away 2 25K evals. So go ahead and make sure you sign up for that now. We have we're gonna put the link out there for you guys. Yeah, the link is in the description. Yush says the link is going to be in the description, so go into that. Yeah, there it is, free 25K eval. Enter now. I see it. So, and on top of the fact he got 50 likes on today's live stream, so come over tomorrow. We're going to give away 2 25K evals, so be there in the live trading room tomorrow morning. Whether it's going to be Money Mitch, could be Jesse, it could be well, it's tomorrow's Wednesday, so it's either going to be Jesse. Yeah, right, Jesse.
I will be on tomorrow, though. Yes, it's Canada Day, so Michael won't be on. I'll be joining Mitch in the morning. Yep.
Right. Love it. John, Tag, Tyler, how we doing? Crow, I am finally here. Nigel, Mr. Pops Mafia, Delonte West, still dropping dimes out on the East Coast. What's we got? Kulwander Singh. Love the name. We got Indiana Jones in chat today. Wahoo! Steve Canyon in chat. He's canyoning up. Hopefully you don't live in Canyon. It's nice and cool. I bet if you do. Sammy since 1984. Well, that's the same year I've been Josh. How about that? Screen Prince in chat. Mike Hicks. How we doing today? There's Mike yet again. I got one from last week. Maybe get one more. Yeah, how about it? Takarooney. Got to give everybody a little shout out. Usman showing up here toward the end. Yeah, again, Ayush, thank you for the love there and letting me know. But we're going to give away 2 25K evals. Description. Go to the description right now. The link's there. All you do is literally click on the link, fill out your name, fill out the email, or put your email address, press submit. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Super easy.
You're going to win a 25K eval. I know you are. I'm talking to you right now. Go do it. And smash the like button if you haven't done it.
Would it be fair to say that they should just do it?
Or that stupid new slogan, why do it? Well, why do it? Because you can win a 25K eval, so just do it. Come on.
Hey, here's my slogan for shorting Nike and hitting the like button. Why not do it? You know, I think that's way better. Why do it? Well, there's so many reasons. And that's there's so many reasons to short Nike too, apparently, because Josh, we were talking about how they were going to sandbag because the bar was so low. And we were sitting there going, but the bar is so low that it doesn't even matter. They sandbagged so hard they beat by 450%. Look what's happening.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I haven't heard that term in a while, like a good old sandbagger. You never, and then the other term, it was what we were watching. One of the mini shows Avery watches, but it was, it was a documentary thing we saw on the girl that was conning people over in England. And she had like 4, 5, 6 different identities throughout the years. Yeah. Anywho, long story short, one of the houses that she went into, I think it was called like Nanny or Fake Nanny or something. That's another one. It was a good one though. And she was getting people left and right and conning them in one of the houses that she lived in. Point being, here's the term, a one-upper. So essentially they would have a story. Oh yeah, we went to England, and then she's like, oh, I went to England and I met the Queen, and now, you always had like a better story. Sandbagging and one-uppers. I haven't heard those terms in quite a while.
Man, those one-uppers, those are the energy vampires. At the party, you'll find yourself, maybe you step outside for a smoke or something, and they just come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, anything you tell them, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Did you know that I did that, but it was twice as cool?" And I should talk about that for half an hour right now. You don't want to go
Yeah.
anywhere, right? You're just like losing all of your life force. By the way, guys, if you are short Tesla, where'd that come from? Don't be short Tesla. If you're short Nike, though, if you're short Nike, keep an eye on it here. It's trying its darndest to hold on to this 40 handle. There is room for another couple bucks slide below. But as you saw, we marked out this high time frame zone. This is our monthly next support monthly, this big chunky blue down here.
Right.
It tagged in, and you know what? It's respecting a little bit. So that's why Jesse was trimming into this flush a little. And I think that we keep going, but if we flip the 9 here, maybe it needs to wait for tomorrow. Maybe it's just gotten enough. I don't know. 40 is a big number.
Jones wants to know what an eval is. So an evaluation, a trading evaluation. That's what we do here at Trade the Pool. We have a 5K evaluation, a 25K, a 50K, a 100K, a 200K. So we're a prop firm. We're pretty much the only and most badass, the only prop firm that says, hey, you want to come trade stocks? You want to short a stock out there, not have to worry about a locate fee? We'll come right here. Come on and open the door. Welcome in. Join the party here at Trade the Pool. It's a nice, beautiful pool. I promise you're going to find a spot. It's big enough for everybody, but an eval essentially is short for saying evaluation, and we're going to give away 2 25K evaluations tomorrow. What's an evaluation? You're saying still maybe yet. Well, you're going to get a chance to have a funded account to trade with 25K. So what we do, like a lot of these prop firms, we send you into an evaluation. Hey, here's a little bit of a test. Can you stand by these parameters, and can you actually profit this much without blowing your account? And so you have a max loss that you can go through daily, a daily max loss, and an overall loss for the account. And each we have a flex account which will be given away. So those are all written in the rules. Or small rules that we have, not very many. But essentially, you have an evaluation, a 25K account. You need to make, what is it, 4% on this, or is it 6% on the flex account?
It is 6, I believe.
6. There you go.
6% to the upside. You have 3% to the downside for drawdown.
Yeah, there you go. And so there you go. There are your rules. And if you pass it, guess what? We're going to give you 25K to actually trade for real money, right? So you can actually get payouts from us, which is huge. Kevin posts them all the time. Kevin Avery, I know a lot of traders that are getting payouts. So like a lot of these prop firms, first you have a test or an evaluation. If you pass it, you get a funded account. And speaking of evaluations in 25K and 50K, July 3rd, this Friday, we will have a special live stream. Jesse and Steve and a lot of those will be joining that. Our week recap that we usually do, but we have a badass, I say sale, I call it BOGO, buy one, get one. So on our 25K and our 50K flex account, for any user, doesn't matter if you're new or not, or if you had 10 or 20 accounts with us, this goes out to everybody. This Friday and Saturday, 25K account, 50K account. If you buy one, and whenever you blow it, you could blow it in 3 weeks, you could blow it in 2 months, but whenever it is, if and when you do blow it and you don't get to the funded stage, we will then credit you back so you have another one. So essentially, if you get a 50K, you blow it in 3 weeks, and unfortunately, you're going to get some credit like that. You're going to get some credits. Whoa, what? I got an extra life in Mario? Oh, yeah, baby, I'm still alive.
I love those extra lives in Mario, man. That saved me so many times.
Yes, 100%. Give me an extra life. One up. A one up, essentially, is what we'd call it. Not a one upper, but a one up, as in Mario, get one extra life, essentially. So there you go, Indiana Jones. And here we go down for a little bit more on the short side for Nike. She's starting to crack away. One stock I do want to bring up. Oh my gosh! Speaking of crack away,
Boom. Easy.
Sales, CELZ. Bring that up real quickly on the chart there, Mr. Steve the Achieve. Look,
CLZ.
yeah, sell. Woo! Ha! Whoo! Stop going down, brother. Where are you going? You just dumping. I mean, yeah. Whoa. That one was bad. Another good dumperoonie for the day. SVRE, who are a badass boy. Trade with Tony, who joins us here on the live stream and challenges Jesse. That'll be our battlers, or whatever you want to call it. And I guess not battlettes. That's when Alejandra and Jane battle people. But check out SVRE. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Trading with Tony here. Of course, he's on our Discord. Yeah, right. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that graphic.
That bear came over and said, "Wow!" There's a little red ketchup for you.
I mean, leprechauns are cool and all, but come on. That was hype. Okay, SVRE. Yeah, this one. You think it's got room for more down too? Now that it's kind of done the U-turn.
Yeah.
Or is this yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just was showing off some nasty dumperoonies for the day. So one of those things, it's like, wow, I got to show this off and when I get over there with the boys, because, boy, these were some nasty dumps today. I love them, too, when you get that. You get that continuation. So you just let it keep going.
Yep, I'm wondering if Nike
Absolutely.
is starting to reclaim perhaps that 9 EMA. I shaved off, it went down a bit, so I did shave off 10 more shares for some more profit. We're still in profit, obviously, but I want to see if we do reclaim this 9 EMA and maybe start pushing, or are we going to fall below? So
It's
maybe
the
some.
name of the game. So I think that could be the low. I don't want it to be because we haven't hit the measured move, but with that sandbag, maybe we don't get that full downside move. We got about halfway there, actually exactly halfway there, worth noting. So I think it's kind of like a take a breath and pause. And we do have the earnings call in 23 minutes there. So it might try to hold a flagging sideways pattern for now. You can see the 1 minute oscillator. I'm going to drag this out a little bit. 1 minute oscillator, basically oversold, basically crossing over, trying to reclaim the 9. If this closes the candle above the 9, this should close the candle above the flip, and then we should be able to see it try to push up. See the moving average, the oscillator will try to move up, and then at some point there will be an inflection and it'll drop again. So I think that even if we do start an uptrend, it'll last about 23 minutes or so into that earnings,
Did you
and then
see
probably
that
get
flash?
smashed again.
See that flash? That thing went all the way back up to VWAP and then crashed back down.
Yeah, that was weird.
What
Yeah,
what did?
the Nike had
Oh,
a
I
quick. Yeah, very quick, very quick. Agent Nova wants to know about earnings. How was the earnings? So, Steve, if you want to reiterate how the earnings was for Nike, and we have the question from Agent Nova. Long-term Nike investor, do you think Nike will bounce back to 50 or 60? Long story
yeah,
short,
I do.
answer, I do, but it won't be anytime soon. I think we see a little more downside before we do ramp back on up.
I would agree. I would agree. So let's touch on this real quick.
And someone asked about swing accounts. We do have swing accounts: 2K, 10K account, a 20K account, and a 40K account. They all have different prices. Like say the 2K swing account starts at $87 for the flex, and then we have day trading accounts. Like a 5K flex account starts at 60, 25, and the main 25K flex account is 120. The 50K is 285. I'm going to be picking up a 50K flex account this weekend for that BOGO. So hey, if and when I have essentially two for the price is one. But those, yeah, so they have different prices. That's not how much they cost, no, but that's the evaluation, or should that's the account size. So we have a 5K account, a 25K, a 50K, a 100K, and a 200K when it comes to day trading. Back to you, Steve.
Yes, sir. All right. So Nike, we had Q4 26 earnings tonight. Here are the highlights. So they had 10.97 billion in revenue. That is a minus 1% year over year. I thought I saw minus 2. Let me double check. Let me get you. No, yeah, minus 1%. So a very slight miss on revenue. They are known to beat EPS, and they've been talking about this inflection point. So everybody was, well, I don't know about everybody. In here, we were expecting a sandbag. I was expecting a sandbag, which is basically when they set a very low bar at their prior earnings so that for this earnings, they can crush when they really need to crush. So that is why it's tough here. Let's talk about what we actually saw. We did see the double beat. We did see the 454% beat on EPS. For another stock, that could be enough to make it double. An insane move. That's an insane number, right? Well, there's more to this story than just those prints. And that's what we've been saying since since today, since we did our little presentation there. I was saying that essentially what we're looking for is that guide, and we're looking for whether the commentary is going to show that we're at that inflection point that's been heavily in not even implied. They've just been saying this is going to be the low point. This quarter is going to be the low point. So that is a big call your shot, Babe Ruth type moment. Well, the Babe Ruth of stocks that have been going down in 2026, I guess. So it's been tough. Here's a little bit more on the print here. So we got Nike's brand revenue, 10.7 billion, flat reported. The North American revenue is +3 to reported. That's sitting at 4.83 billion. What we really cared about was China. So that is minus 12% reported. And that, I think, is going to be what is delaying, or a big part of what is delaying this story. The next thing will be on the call. You better hope that they are going to be talking their book about how these numbers aren't actually, as worrying as I read them as. I mean, the sandbag, it's a nice number, but does it change things enough to buy this now instead of in 3 months? Because I think that timeline is potentially getting pushed based on the weakness in China, based on these other metrics that we're talking about. Revenue just barely coming in line. That's a little little sus there with such a large outsized EPS print to go with it.
Marcos says, just dump it. I like it. Just dump it. Smith says, I have calls. Is it early to jump? I have calls. Is it early to jump into calls? Yeah, I think it is right at this point. If you're going to for a long-term BOGO, again, Mike, there you go, going over that buy one, get one. So essentially come over this Friday and Saturday, buy a 25K or a 50K evaluation account from us. And if and when anytime you do blow that, we will immediately send you credits for a new one. So essentially if you get a 50K, 17 days from now, it blows, and you're like, dang it, there goes that account. You're going to get the magic wand coming on in for a new, essentially credits for another one. And I love it. Yes, Blake says, come on, send it to the 30s. I'll be a happy buyer, says Blake Fisher. Well, we're sending it. We're sending it. Bronze Handles asked Steve, when is the giveaway? Steve, when is the giveaway for the 250 or the 225K evals?
Well, it's tomorrow. That's what I know for sure. I know that if you don't give it away in the morning, I'm going to give it away in the afternoon.
Oh, and maybe that means Steve's giving away more. Steve, it's now he's turning into Steve Winfrey. That's right. It's Oprah Steve. Watch out.
I was going for, what is it? What's his name? The Red Hot Chili Peppers guy? You know that?
Yeah.
Give it away.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Flea? Anthony Kiedis? Flea, which one?
Anthony Kiedis. Yes. That guy.
There we go.
I don't know.
Let's see here. We got Joe's in chat. Josie. I think it's Josie. I think that's Josie right there. Yes, Josie, how we doing? John Pickett. Great entry here, or will we move lower? I think we do move lower. That's just my opinion. I think we'll move our way a little bit lower into the 30s, but still not bad right now, Mr. Pickett. If you want to pick at some shares, this isn't going to be too much lower. It's not. I don't think we see 20s, but just going back and looking at the chart, I do think we do come down a little bit further before we go back on up. And if I had to give you a specific price, I'll just see if I can't find you one that I like a little bit better. I'm trying to find that price right now.
I'm showing on my chart where I bet you're going to pick. No, I bet this is what you're going to say, so no cheating.
Okay, I'm not
seeing if you're dialed into my brain.
Yeah, I'm saying 35 to like 33 area.
All right, I had 34.77. That counts.
Nice,
so
that counts.
all right.
That's in.
That's in there. It's in there.
Wow.
So I was looking at those monthly wicks. Those monthly bottom wicks looked to me like that was a Josh Smith special right there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that 35, 34, or something like that.
Yeah, and you said that earlier in the show, Steve. You pointed that out. Yep.
I knew it.
What'd he say?
I said this is a Josh Smith play. This is the Josh Smith bouncer, and here we are.
Yeah, we're trying to hold that top portion at 40. I don't think we do it. I think we go down to the bottom portion. I love old resistance equals new support, but typically when we're coming down, it's not going to hold for so many years. So we're probably going to see the support be the balance right around that 35 mark that Steve's talking about. So love it. I mean, yeah, I see the chart. Steve pulls up the technicals to align with it, and it's literally like all the stars align when we do that together. So I love it.
Yeah, it's like a little. It's like a what are they? The Reese's cups. It's a little peanut butter, a little chocolate. You don't think it goes so good together until you try it, and then you're like, Josh Smith, where have you been all my life? Come on, I need that energy.
That's when AK and Crowbar get together. You better watch out. It's just too good for true. We need to make a cartoon. Right. We're the ones that show up for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Besides Casey Jones, we show up. You got a crowbar. I've got. They're like, Josh, we can't have guns in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, all right, cool. I'll go. He's got a hockey puck. He's got a crowbar. How can I go with a baseball bat?
There you go. We're mixing metaphors now. Are we instruments of death or chocolate? Because I was going to say Jesse's like when you throw him in there, he's like a caramel swirl, and then just brings the whole thing together.
Okay, all right. Now we're. I
don't know what weapon he is though.
Make it a whole concoction here now. Positive energy 007. Nike will hit 80 by the end of the year. Okay, I'm down with that.
That's a hot take.
Well, in that case, this would be a great buy.
Yeah, long term. Sounds like free money. What I will say is I do think that the inflection point is well on its way. I do think that it is not here today, though. What we're looking at is
we're continuing to fall, by the way. We're really starting to fall down into the low 39s now.
Let's go. Give me 38, baby.
Blake, give me the shares with our position too. By the way, guys, we're still in profit. We're still looking good.
Beautiful. 37.50 is that's the implied move, and then the measured move of the range that we just set and broke is going to be 37 proper. So those are two areas that I'd really like to take some off. If you are looking for levels, that's how I would manage the trade. But right now I'm seeing us falling through the 1.27 fib. As any of my fib traders know, once you break the range from the high to the low, you look for the first extension at 127, the yellow line. This tests, and then it usually retests the 1 basically backtest the initial range break, didn't even get that strong. It was so weak, it was just guided down by our moving averages that we always watch. New low should open the door to 1.68 down here, unless this reclaims on high volume. Not seeing high enough volume to be worried about this yet, but keep in mind the call's in 14 minutes. I think that's 14 minutes left to bleed.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll just stay in for that length and continue
Yeah.
to build our profits here.
I was going to say that's about the only thing I could see helping this try to turn around the ship a little bit would maybe be that call possibly coming up.
Well, definitely, because the call is going to be what matters the most. So what I will say is I think we should be down to runners by that point, just because I don't know what's going to happen. And if they do have something in their back pocket, some ace up their sleeve that I'm not aware of here, I mean, that is probably a good time for them to let us know, right? We're knocking on death's door here at very, very low ranges, low prices compared to its like 5-year range, let's say. And I mean, heck, what is it going to be that actually moves this thing? I think that we're seeing a bifurcation of fundamentals, like forward-looking fundamentals and just sentiment in general. I think that Nike is a very well-established company, even if they are going through significant pain. But we've known that for a long time. They've absorbed a lot of this. The tariffs were really rough for them. Just in general, they have not been big since, I mean, COVID. We how do I want to put this? We are kind of reevaluating what it is that's going to be hooking the next generation of athletes, I think, because I think that we're seeing a lot of new kind of trends appearing in sports, and I think it's awesome. I think that it will be counterintuitive to a lot of people because for so many years, people, for example, I'm such a contrarian before I even say this. So many years people have been saying like WNBA, oh, what's the point? Nobody goes to those games, blah, 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 blah.
Well, you got to get the stud. You got to get a star, and when you get the star, next thing you know, you take off, and that's the thing.
Right.
They didn't have a face. They didn't have really a face to push it, and then lo and behold, Caitlin Clark comes around, and
Yeah.
how big she was in college was the key. And then I'm sure anybody in the the lead of WNBA were just licking and at the chomps, just going, "Yay! Finally, we get someone to get off our asses." Because you got to think within the short amount of time she's been there. Now look at the contracts they're getting. Like you were saying, the viewership, how much more money they're pulling in, which is really good. And that's what I've said for the longest time. Hey, they were always, which is funny. I think it was maybe I forgot what story it was, but they wouldn't be paid as much as the men. It could have been the soccer team, which does make sense.
Right.
But point
I
being,
remember that.
yeah. When it came to the WNBA and NBA, I'm like, listen, there's no person in the WNBA that could ever say we need to be making as much money as the NBA. Look how much money the people in the NBA make. There's a reason why. It's global and it brings in billions, and there's a reason why they get to make that much money. So until you get to bring in that money, you're not going to make that money. And so now they finally are. A good example is LGPA versus the PGA. Well, when you get Tiger Woods, and I'll never forget the winning cuts on those checks, those big ass goofy checks they used to like show at the end of the tournament in the 90s. 100K, 100, yeah, right. 100K, 150K. We all seen Happy Gilmore. We know what those goofy checks look like, and he'd be getting those little bitty baby ones or whatever. Anyway, but that was like, you think about that, said 100, 150K. Now they're making, I don't know what, it's over $1 million almost in every tournament. And then the majors are like multiple million. But when I first started watching, it was like in the 100,000 area, so it just shows you when you get that face what you can do. I mean, Tiger's a great example too when it comes to golf, and even Nike that helped them so much for a good probably 5 to 10 year run at least.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Josh, I just want to, just tag into what you're saying here. Definitely a much smaller percentile. I'm not discounting that. We're talking 250 million compared to the, call it 12 billion, 14 billion that the NBA generates yearly. That being said, when I'm looking at this, when I'm looking at these numbers, it looks like a small cap speculative stock that's just hit an inflection point compared to mega cap like Nvidia, which has such a large market cap that it's harder to grow at the same pace.
Yeah.
So I think that valuation, that inflection point, we could be really at an interesting spot for any stocks involved with, investing in their leaders. So I think Caitlin Clark is definitely the biggest name, right? Who else? I think Angel Reese is probably big. I don't watch normal basketball, let alone.
Well, and
I don't
also
watch any basketball. So.
Well, what helps them is, and obviously we see a lot of Angel Reese. No offense, and she's not that great. She's a brick and rebounding machine, but that brings more attention. Good attention, bad attention doesn't matter. WNBA is loving it, going like, yeah, keep tweeting about Angel Reese. You think she cares that she's bricking and putting it back up? She's the one making the big bucks. You're not, so you can sit there and talk shit about her all you want. But we love it because it's just bringing more. And then of course, then like the Sophie Cunningham, the Sophie Cunningham girl that plays for the same team as Caitlin Clark. She's gotten huge. She does podcasts now, and she's the whole point. She's like, there's a lot of pushing and shoving, and girls are getting on it. They're like pointing fingers and trying to get, kind of like the old school basket NBA days where they're getting physical. Yeah, it's just bringing up. But I've seen way more of WNBA over the last 2 or 3, 4 years because of Caitlin Clark. But then you get the Angel Reese and you get the Sophie Cunningham, who a lot of people love. So yeah, it's huge. By the way, Mike says he's got an eval. Yeah, you better get another one. I mean, come on, Mike. Come on. I'm getting one this weekend. Who isn't getting one? You get a 25K eval, and you blow it this week. Again, on Friday and on Saturday, we're running our BOGO sale, essentially, as I'm calling it. If you buy a 25K account on Friday or Saturday, and in 18 or 20 days or however many days after that you blow it, you're going to get credits for another one right back in your account. Buy a 50K, same thing. Let's see here. Fisher, yes, that's
Shadow Rap says he loves Trade the Pool, and he says he got funded, or she, my apologies if you're she, but I got funded in 10 days. Congratulations.
Shadow Rap. It was just last week. Just last week, you were in shambles. You were in despair mode. Look how the turntables. Great job, dude. Love to hear it.
Yeah, and then we have someone at M Stones. Can anyone tell me how to get after hours chart data on TradingView? He says he pays for premium. And what's up, Shadow Rap in chat, Marcuz? How we doing?
After hours. Yes. So look in the bottom right corner. You will see ETH. That's extended trading hours. Well, you won't see that. You will see RTH probably. You will see probably this RTH, and you won't see anything after hours. So hit down there. You can also do Alt plus Shift plus E. Alt plus Shift plus E. And there's after hours now showing. It says ETH, extended trading hours.
Hey.
Let me know if that sets you up.
Another 25K eval might be coming, guys. Come on, smash that like button. If we get to 100 likes, we're gonna definitely give away 3 25K evals tomorrow. I just made it happen. I just said so.
Man.
We have 1,000 views so far today, 58 likes. Let's keep smashing the like button.
Beautiful.
Damn, baby. No, we appreciate you guys coming over, seeing like the different names. So of course we always have Tax and Chat Pops Mafia. We appreciate in the Delonte West, but getting in the Agent Novas, getting in the Shadow Raps, getting in Tyler Smith, James Ortiz, M Stone, Blake Fishers, all you guys that come in with the regulars like Nigel and Tack and Crows of the world. I love it. It's just a big old Trade the Pool party over here. And I've got about 6 more minutes. You're gonna stay around for the call? We're gonna stay around a little longer, Steve, or yes, no? What do you want? What are you gonna do, Steve?
We'll give the people what they want. You guys wanna hang out? We can hang out. We can put the stream up. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd say
I'll get ready to go right now. So yeah.
Do it. Boom, boom, boom. Sounds good. So we'll stick around
I
a
can
little
hang
bit
for
longer.
a little bit, but I do have to take my kids to martial arts
Fair enough.
sometime after. So
No, it's for everybody. Delonte West, that was the deal we just did, was for first-time users. This is for anybody, whether you've had 10,
sick.
20, 30, 40, 50 accounts with us, and hopefully you still got a couple of active ones. Go get you one. That's why I'm going to go get another one this weekend.
Yeah, guess who's buying another one? Me.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's awesome. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. Yes, this is for anybody. Go get you one. I'm getting one this weekend. Heck, I might even get one for my mom and my dad, but they're really for me because they never trade. So I just get, it's kind of like one of those. It's almost like an Indian. It's almost like an Indian gift. It's a gift that you're going to give to someone that they're just going to give it right back to you. Like, I don't want that. I'm not going to use it. Yeah, I knew you weren't. I'll take it though. Thank you very much. I just bought myself a gift essentially.
beautiful.
Shout out all our Native American viewers. We appreciate you.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's just an old school saying. Another old school saying.
I know. I'm from
Shout out
Buster
from
Balls,
Arkansas,
don't worry.
baby.
Right,
Let's
like,
go.
I think the best one's from old school with Will Ferrell. I mean, that's got to be probably the best one where he gives back. Was it a toaster? What does he give back to the kid that and they're like something like that?
If it wasn't a toaster, it might as well have been.
Yeah, but y'all remember that in old school? Y'all remember that where they're giving the kid has a birthday party and then they open up gifts and yeah, it's like it's because him and his wife just had they got married, right? So it was like a wedding gift that he just got. A typical Will Ferrell. I mean that movie and just from scene to scene because that part. I mean, there's so many funny parts because right before that is the one of the funniest scenes where he shoots himself with the dart. Was it an elephant tranquilizer or whatever it was? And Stifler's like, dude, you shot yourself with a dart.
That's, I think, top 5 comedies from that era for me. It's up there.
It's a good one. Agent Nova says, I hope the call is going to be positive news.
I think
Yeah,
that's
they're going to be doing their best. They're going to be hammering those talking points. So it's just about whether the market buys it. So
Topher.
it'll be a good
Topher says, what
experiment.
about Bronny Shanes Jr.? Bronny Shanes Jr. What do you mean, Topher? And I did see that. Well, you gotta love that. Versus LeBron. No, I mean, I will be nice and not try to be mean. But where
Oh.
LeBron is like, I don't want to play for the Lakers anymore. I'm good. I need to go chase one more ring. Where can I win my prolific, however many years he's been in the league? You know, that's what he's going to do. He's going to go to some team, say, listen, I just want to win the ring with you. Where do you think he's going to go? That's a good question. That could be the call-in show question for Thursday, although we have a different one for Thursday. Where does LeBron James and what championship team do you think he lands on? Does he go to New York and the Knicks? But no, I don't think the Knicks would want to mess up their team that they got built.
They got synergy. Yeah, that's the thing. You can add a superstar to a team, and sometimes the chemistry isn't there. You know, sometimes there's you can clash like that. That's a way harder question for the call-in show than can't you give me like a quantitative analysis problem or something? I don't know sports. Come on, man. I'll do my best. But real quick, guys, Nike here. It has closed a 1 minute candle over this 21 over the 9. Just keep an eye out for the potential mean reversion trade. We got a long way to VWAP. We got the call coming up in 3 minutes, which I'll be getting going here in just a second, and we will.
Agent Noble, we're doing good. USA plays tomorrow night. I was having my way earlier with Mr. Tony. Tony says there's no way they have a shot to win it all. And I was saying this, if they have a shot, this is the year. But they have a good draw too. And they play Bosnia, the winner of that match. I forgot exactly who the two teams are that we could play. I like our odds there. I think we make it through that the first 2 games. I think we win 2, and then we'll lose probably the third one possibly. But again, it's held in the United States, so we have a little of that home field advantage. And Big Me to Fit Me, look at that. He's smart. He says, I'm going to buy 2 50K accounts instead of 100K, because why in the end? He gets 4 chances instead of 1. That's a prop for a math, he says, and I like it. Right. It's definitely doing. He's math. That math is mathing right there.
Mathing.
There you go. He's thinking in bets. What can you say?
Yeah, right. Golden State with Curry. Okay, Tyler, I could see that staying in state. That way he doesn't have to sell his house, and he could just got a rental or whatever you want to call it to play for Golden State. And the thinking of that means Steve, he's going to be right next to you if he's playing in Golden State.
Oh man, I already get enough hate. We don't need LeBron. Like I feel like San Francisco's going to be the most hated city for like 8 different reasons. Like what Gavin Newsom's making a deal with Anthropic. Like, come on, man, you're putting a target on my back over here. I don't want any of this.
Yeah. Shadow Rep, have a good one. Shadow Rep's have a good one. Have a good one. John says LeBron isn't a superstar. Yeah, no, he's definitely not. But yeah, I've just never been a fan. I was at first actually, but then after he started doing all the drama, I fell off the face of the earth. Like I was hoping, after Jordan, I'm like, oh, here comes another 23. I like Kobe, but I never got into Kobe until after he was kind of like later in his years. I'm like, all right, I should have respected him way more. He was the second coming of Jordan. But yeah, I kind of lost it after he starts trying to do the Miami thing and holds a whole interview. That was just who does that? Who's that big of a diva? How about this? Name another athlete that was as big as LeBron was, but as big as a diva as he was.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Right.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah, there's okay. All right. U.S. Trading Tools. Let's see. Okay, were you meant to moving house like 100 years ago? U.S. Trading Tools. Yes, like I've said for the 100th time though, I'm waiting for all the other houses to build. I am not building on a dirt or gravel road. The front half is paved. It's been paved. The last half is gravel. There's probably still, I would imagine, last time I was out there, 4 other houses, maybe 5 that have to start building. It's not happening. As much as I'm starting to get this house starting to like feel like, okay, I'm ready to get out of here and get to the new one. I can't wait for it. I just know that I'll be a little more, I'll be paid. It's stock trading. I'm so busy anyway and how time is flying by. So it's, yes. And everyone asked me that. I'm like, when I thought, blah, blah, blah. Because I bought land, or me and my wife bought land back in 2023 or 24, whenever it was. And we're building a house. I already have house plans. Here are the plans right here. I mean, they're still right here in this big of a thing, right? So here's the blueprints to our house that's already literally done. Just waiting, my man. It's until and I've said this, and so I'm going to stick to, like I've always said, stick to my word. And what have I said? I'm going to be the last house built, and I will be the last house built. So sometime I'm hoping and thinking positively. My favorite number 7, 2027 is that year for sure.
You're the Josh. I like it. Is that like the Chinese zodiac?
I don't know.
You're the Josh.
Yeah, I like it. I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
But they have like an element too. Are you like the fire Josh? Are you like the earth Josh? Which bender are you? Which avatar bender are you?
I guess it depends on the season. You know, sometimes I think it's a little bit of water. Sometimes it's a little bit of fire. I think would be the two I go with right
Fire and water. All right. All right. Holy fire and water.
there.
Apparently, I
Yeah,
like
there
it.
we
I
go.
like
There
it.
we go. Steve, guess who
So
was holding gold shorts from 2 weeks ago? Asked Barney.
I bet it was Barney. Congratulations, Barney. Awesome trade. We are getting the start of the call now. So how do you guys want to do this? I have the closed captions here. We can play the sound and I can pause it and jump in for commentary if either of us have any. Does that sound good? Or we can, I don't know if you guys want it on mute. We can keep on yapping. Either way, let me know what you guys are feeling.
Well, I think Nike stays down. I'm sure these people love listening to the call. I remember one call we put on when we started to yap again. They're like, "Oh, we don't want to listen to you. We want to listen to them." So
Fair enough. Fair enough. If you're here for earnings, you probably want to hear the call. So I can put the sound on here, and we will listen in. If you guys have to take off, no worries. But I'll give the people what they want.
yeah, I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys for letting me just pop in here and do some that loud shouting and promoting. Thank you again, all the likes out there. 225K evals, and if we get to 100 likes, we're getting up there. I'll see if we can't do 3 tomorrow morning. That's it. Tomorrow morning. Please join us. Come on back. Money Mitch, Michael Nas is going to be out. Jesse's going to replace him. Airplane Jane's going to be in there tomorrow, giving away 225K evals. Thanks for the participation, and Steve and Jesse. I will see you both tomorrow.
Good to see you. And I'm going to be out in about 5 to 10 minutes as well, Steve. But I'm going to stay in the trade and see what it does here while we listen in.
See you, team.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, we are going to get on into it here, folks.
Do it.
All right, I realized Ayush helping me out here. I need to reshare my screen, so I'm going to do that right now to get the audio for y'all. Thanks for your patience, folks. Almost there. I did the wrong thing again. We're trying it once more. Share sound. There we go.
Win now. It's making the comeback goal.
Should be coming
And
through all right now.
importantly, it's what's enabled us to move about 8,000 teammates into vertical sport teams under our new operating model, the Sport Offense, while also taking meaningful steps to simplify and accelerate our supply chain and technology. As our foundation approves, the Sport Offense is starting to create impact. Our renewed obsession with sport and the success of our athletes is fueling energy for our brands and building momentum in our performance business, which grew mid-single digits this fiscal year. Overall, the results aren't there yet. We know we're not living up to our full potential, particularly in Nike sportswear and Jordan streetwear, where sell-through remains challenged, impacting both current discounting and future order books. We're operating in a more complex macro environment where we're seeing added pressure on traffic and discretionary spending.
See it cracking the
across
spare
our
flag here.
geographies.
They're not very
But
bullish
we're
yet.
focused on what we can control, bringing each sport
It's a tough
together
start.
across product, brand,
Here we
marketplace,
go.
and operations, and deepening
there it
our
goes.
connections with athletes, consumers,
I don't
and
say
partners.
uh-oh lightly. That was a rough way to
When
start a
those
call.
dimensions connect,
Woo!
they create the Nike multiplier. It's repeatable and sustainable. That's why I'm confident we're building Nike the right way,
He doesn't
not for the
sound
next
confident.
quarter, but for the next decade. Now the opportunity is consistency, execution across every part of the portfolio.
And he's reading up. He's
From
reading
here,
something.
we have to prove it every season. Now let me walk you through the details of the clearest
Beautiful.
signals of our progress in FY2026. This year, we directed our marketing, social, and communications outreach to build influence across a wide network of sport-specific communities. We did that through our deep portfolio of athletes, creators, and sport partners. And through those networks, we brought energy and a uniquely Nike point of view to sports moments. both big and small. When we lead with sport authentically,
He's trying to read
consumers
a
respond.
speech, a political speech.
And we see that
Yeah, is this
in
a stump
both
speech? Because I'm not
internal
buying
and
it.
external brand
Sounds like
traffic.
I'm not buying it at all. Neither is
Our focus
neither
now is translating that brand strength
It's
into
probably
healthier
so
demand,
stressful. I'm gonna
cleaner
mute it for just one
marketplace.
sec. It's probably so stressful to, like, somewhere in that room he sees the stock price, or he sees someone looking at their phone, looking at the stock price and freaking out.
Sweat is rolling down his face as he's reading from his PowerPoint.
I do not envy that man. CEOs, they maybe they get paid more than they should, but this is the one day a year I think they get paid the right amount, because this is not fun if you're a failing, or not failing, but struggling company trying to justify that failure to shareholders.
No,
Let's get back into it.
Stock really went down.
Brand.
Good.
The integrated marketplace is one of our most important areas of transformation. We've been rebuilding our wholesale relationships, expanding our outreach, and improving how we show up across channels. For the fiscal year, wholesale revenue grew 4%, led by double-digit growth in North America. And we've also made significant investments in physical marketplace, refreshing more than 15,000 spaces in wholesale doors around the world. In Nike Direct, we've taken equally important steps. We're elevating the user experience by leading with performance, celebrating sport moments, and we're discounting less on Nike Digital. In FY2026, we've elevated more than 150 stores with sport-led experiences. Over time, we will continue to rezone and elevate our fleet and close doors that are no longer aligned to our strategy. At our scale, this takes time. We're not finished yet. I'm confident our investments in the integrated
I was muted.
marketplace
It's cracking.
will
I think it's
pay
happening.
dividends for years to come. We're also investing in experiences in our key countries and cities to accelerate demand. In global football, our grassroots tournament, Toma, has reached more than 10,000 kids across 25 cities to date. In basketball, we continue to invest globally, from our partnerships with the Chinese High School Basketball League and its 600 teams.
Bearish 1 minute close there. It should go for continuation. There it's going trying. We watch for the flush.
Around the world. In running, we launched the After Dark Tour in Shanghai. It will reach 7 cities this fall. Last year, 50,000 runners joined, and a third were first-time runners. And with our more expanded reach, we expect even more impact. Being more local matters. It deepens connection. It builds loyalty, and it creates a pull market.
Am I still echoing here?
And products. As we strengthen Nike Inc.'s foundation, we're taking decisive action across our supply chain to lower cost, streamline operations, and right-size our distribution network to match the demand ahead. We've redeployed resources from our Nike Direct technology teams to better support the company end-to-end across the entire value chain. And we're investing in advanced tools and capabilities to improve speed, precision, and reliability in everything we create, from air manufacturing and
Just hopping in here to highlight what Talk's saying here. They absolutely need the China sales. That was why it was one of our top watches for this quarter. It's really important for their overall, for their bottom line. That big of a miss, like we saw North America up 3%, it didn't matter. China was down 12. That's notable, right? And that was one of the 3 things that we were really watching there. Let's see.
To winning. Our teams in China are executing a comprehensive reset, returning to sport and innovation, taking a more local approach to product creation, and building a territory-level offense. At the same time, we're reimagining how we operate in the marketplace. We are working with partners and evaluating new ways to accelerate our return to growth so we can be more premium, more culturally.
As we watch this kind of slow motion implosion what we're looking for to see the trend hold is the continuation off of the fast short-term moving averages. So we have the 9, that's this blue. We also have this light thin line right here. It's a kind of a sea foam there, and that is our 5-minute moving average. So as long as when these make contact with the candles, they're still finding sellers, we can assume that the sellers are in full control and are waiting to get their measured move or beyond to essentially monetize there. I'm not seeing anything on this tape that's worrisome yet for our short, but we've been trimming all the way down as we are responsible traders, at least when we do it live. So down to runners here. And Jesse had to step out. Apparently, his audio was having some trouble. Sorry about that, guys. But we had 20 shares still left going into the call from our very comfortable entry up at 41.88 average, because we started at 41.20 and then he added at 43.27. Mark that out. And right here. So great entries by Jesse, our man on the controls today. We are sitting in very healthy profit. Our stop is, I would say, is now over this level at 39.77. We don't want to see a reclaim there. And really, we don't want to see a reclaim of the 9-minute moving average. Let's hop back into the call and see if we get any reason to pop.
Well beyond the tournament. We built a full Nike football universe. It started with a simple image of 31 Polaroids, a map of what was to come. An epic film called Rip the Script followed, branching off into individual athlete stories, collaborator collections, innovation unveils, retail experience, and local tournaments. We built it this way because the next generation wants to engage with sport on their terms, discovering, sharing, and participating in the story as it unfolds. Every beat, every story is a doorway, giving different micro-communities their own way in. This is the way to reach scale in today's culture. By the first week of the World Cup, we had 1.5 billion views of our various stories. This is about deeply understanding today's consumers and building modern, meaningful, and innovative connections with them. This is nothing new for Nike. Once again, we're out front rewriting our own marketing playbook. At the center of the Nike football universe is amazing product. We launched AeroFit in our national team kits to help athletes compete in extreme conditions. By the start of the tournament, we had already sold 2.5.
All right, folks, just keeping an eye here as we had a big candle down. We were very close. We were within 25-30 cents of the measured move, so this could be all she wrote. That would be understandable. We are negotiating a reclaim of the 9-minute moving average here. Still finding sellers, and we're watching this candle print. So I want to just hang out, watch this candle for the next 13 seconds and focus on this. So far, it transacted, found the seller for continuation. And I think that our little path that we drew here is starting to look pretty accurate if we get this close below the prior wick that was trying to hold that 5-minute moving average. So I think we still are going to flush lower. I'm reading the comments here. What's up, Morganizer? Welcome on in. That Nike ad is pretty badass. I got to give it to him. I said pretty bad. Okay, yeah, pretty badass. I mean, I think their new products are kind of cool, personally. I think those cleats look cool. Maybe that's bearish because I have no style. That's up in the air. But in general, I think it's just very, 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 how do I even want to put this? It's just no fun to invest in Nike when you could invest in, I don't know, literally anything else. Even in the shoe space, I'm seeing other names that look really good. So in terms of a turnaround story that really isn't sticking, this thing is just getting sold off by the only people who are still in it, which are long-term holders going, I can rebuy it in 3 months. They beefed it. You know, that's how I'm kind of reading this. So I love staying in these trades until they kick me out. And this is what it looks like is happening right here. Beautiful, beautiful price action. We're not in our measured move yet, so no worries here. And this is why I was telling Mr. Jesse that when it cracked here and it wicked up, I said, I think this is an entry. I think it's starting, not stopping. So glad that we just did a little trim on this initial range crack and took some more off the 40 sub 40 range, and now holding the remainder in deep profit here as we surge for lower. So let's listen back in the call and see why they're knifing their own stock here.
In the second half, Nike Sportswear will introduce more than a dozen new footwear styles, each with distinct consumer journeys. But this work will take time to scale and translate into consistent results. Our teams are also focused on inspiring the consumer in modern ways while driving commercial impact at local sports moments. And we will continue to invest in how we show up as a premium brand in both digital and physical retail, including a plan to elevate 50% of our Nike Direct owned fleet by the end of the fiscal year. Across the enterprise, we'll operate with even greater discipline to improve planning accuracy, strengthen inventory management, and expand our margins over time. Most importantly, we look forward to sharing the next phase of our growth strategy at our Investor Day on November 16th and 17th. Before I pass it to Matt, I want to take a moment and recognize him for his many contributions to Nike over his nearly 18 years at this company. Matt helped guide the company through a demanding
stretch. That's for sure. All right, we're about to sweep the lows here. About to sweep the lows here. They're going to hand it off to Matt. I don't personally really care what Matt has to say. I think he's said enough at this point. We are looking for the range crack here. If you still, I mean, there's no real meat on this trade anymore. That's why we're getting in earlier. But, you know, in theory, the wick back up in this 1 minute fair value gap should provide another entry that should continue lower into this 9 minute moving average. That would look like, where are my crayons? Something like that. So in general, no reason to get out of this trade for us yet, but really good stuff, guys. All right, so I think we are going to wrap up the call portion here. I think we got what we needed from that. Let's get into full screen here. We'll talk some charts. We'll go over the last bit of this trade. We are going to go through comments. If you have any other charts you want me to look at, any other thing you want me to comment on, feel free to drop that in. Just want to shout out each and every one of you here. Really appreciate all of y'all coming on in, watching us trade the earnings here. There's the crack. There we go, baby. So this is just about the measured move, or the implied move we're looking for. The actual measured move of the range break sitting at $37, just about to transact. I'm going to give Jesse a text, pat him on the back for his execution there, and say, I'd take a little bit more off. Great trading there for us. We will go over that real quickly as soon as the trade actually fills. Can't count our chickens before we ask. I see you, Usman. I see you with Netflix. No worries, brother. Microsoft. Tyler wants Microsoft. We can do that. Absolutely. Talks buying Qs. Of course he is. Let's talk some more comments here. Wim Kehu, sorry if I'm butchering the name. Welcome on in. I wouldn't be surprised if Nike removed from the Dow. Do you think it would impact any of the current technicals? Hard sell signaling capitulation. So it's an interesting question. The Dow is kind of nice way to put it is old-fashioned. Mean way to put it is dumb. I think an index balanced around 30 stocks is dumb. I don't really think there's two ways about it. So you get outsized impact from names like Nike, which really don't matter as much as the really big holdings of Dow. We can look at the technicals for the index itself. By the way, seeing a little bit of green after we just about hit that 37. Anything under 37.50 was the target. I'll zoom that box in just a little. We'll call that the target right there. So we're going to say mission accomplished. We're going to give the, I don't know. What do we got? What do we got on the soundboard here? Let's do one of these. I think the trade's done, guys. We caught, I believe, over 9%. I think we caught more than the actual measured move. So really nice trading there. We had the average price of, just under $42. Cashing out there's 11.27% on a 9.1 measured move. Beautiful stuff there. Beautiful stuff. So shout outs, Jesse. Wherever you are, brother. Probably taking the kids to karate, but great trade in there. Great trade in there. We got some requests in here. We're going to start going through them here. I'm going to speed run. You know what? We'll keep on working. How about this, guys? You can request things for 9 more minutes, and then I will okay, actually, I should hold off. If I get the go-ahead from my producer to go till the end of the hour, I will. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up in 10 minutes. Ayush, just let me know. Give me a message on what you prefer. Till then, let's start hitting these charts here. Microsoft first. No, Netflix first. Usman, I appreciate you. I know you're in here a lot. You're good people. Let's talk Netflix. All right. Chart's getting a little messy. I'm going to clean it up. Take those Bollinger Bands off. Get rid of that. That's good enough for now. So I haven't looked at Netflix's chart in detail, in depth, for a while. As you can see, I had a few paths of what I thought it might do. Neither of them played out. It happens. It happens. What are we seeing now? Still big weakness. So my paths are usually bullish because I'm usually a bull. And when they break, it's usually because things are wrong. So something went wrong. It got ran way too hot with a big gap underneath. It was completely decoupled from the other mega caps due to its deal and lack of deal. Went slided down and down and down because the deal sucked. They reneged on the deal, had to pay a fat severance fee essentially, and gapped up massively on that. That being said, when they transacted their 200-day moving average, it became really clear what the story was. The story was we are not ready to go back to new all-time highs. We are still being punished for our indiscretions. Get back in the casket. Here we go. I thought it was going to fill the gap, form a higher low, and we'd get in around 78, 80, I think is what I wanted. Yeah, right around there. I'll zoom in. I think I drew a fib like this and said I wanted... I think it was 82. Well, it tried to hold 82 and flushed that hard. I'm glad I did not buy. Sometimes you get rewarded for having too many things on your radar. We got to zoom out. We got to zoom out to figure out where we're going here. And we're just going to go start from scratch here. Too many lines, too many old lines from when I was trading it down in the gutter. I wasn't trading it at 20. What am I talking about? I was trading it here. Somewhere like that. I don't even know. Okay. Anyways, Netflix. What are we going to do with you? Trading into this previous high. First thing that jumps out at me. Give me 1 second. There it is. I will take the last red candle and the last green candle, and I'll use those to create a zone. This is my monthly support. These levels don't tap once and just bounce off in V-shape usually. Usually it takes time to digest and for a long-term buyer to accumulate off a spot like this. We also have the confluence with the rising monthly 50 moving average. Let's go to a weekly. One thing to note though, the oscillator on the monthly is still just rough, man. Just really rough, to be honest. It hit an inflection point like last summer, and it's just been getting beat on ever since. It still has so much room to expand down on this oscillator. So we got to find some hope in a weekly chart. Weekly oscillator looking pretty grim there too, just straight expansion downwards. This needs to find buyers at this 200 week. That's a big level. So we have the 200 week, we have the 50 month, essentially the same thing, right? Right in this vicinity. If it doesn't hold 70, this thing can really start to flush out. And where I would look is the middle point of this fib range that it's set. Oh, well, would you look at that? It's under the 50% and it's not finding a buyer yet. So what we could see is a flush out wick, maybe somewhere into this zone, maybe down to this 55 level at the very worst. I would like to see just a little bit of an overshoot here, perhaps down to 66. I see a little bit of a hole in the volume shelf there. See that little gap where my mouse is? You have this bigger shelf and this bigger shelf and then a little hole there. So let's refine our buy zone, or our area where we would look to buy. And this is one where you might if it loses the 200 week, you might look for this to transact and then a reclaim of the 200 week to probably get involved. You don't need to catch the very bottom. It'll probably drag you for another month or two, and it's a lot better to just get in when the setup is valid. For example, on the weekly chart, when this thing bottomed out horrifically, it took like 3 months here. And sure, this candle right here was a buy signal, but you could also wait until it breaks the W, and then you'll feel a lot better because you'll be catching the direct move, and you won't be sitting here for four weeks wondering, did I screw up? Did I just buy a pile of trash that's going way lower? So that's how I'd look at Netflix here. M Stone asking, is there hope for a double bottom on which stock? On Netflix here? There's hope for a head and shoulders, an inverted head and shoulders, and that would look like, and this is already like a head and shoulders that's starting to break down. So first off, measured move to the downside on that pattern, if we do get it, would be something like 55, all the way potentially down to 42. These have a low hit rate. I wouldn't necessarily expect it to fully play out. And what I would like to see, and what I look for when I have a really strong low that then gets flushed out, but there is resting support underneath, what I would like to see is this become the new bottom, get a nice bounce, probably back to the point of control here, and then flush again, but make a higher low. And then it can start being constructive again. That's what I got for Netflix there. We're going to go a little faster. I know I'm a little long-winded here. Let's see. M Stone in the house, looking for bull. Weeble. Interesting weekly chart here. So remember, I start on the weeklies, sometimes the monthlies if it looks bad enough. And basically, I'm trying to get my bearings and figure out where we're looking. So it looks like I had an old path for bull. I did not trade this path, but it looks like it was pretty accurate. Came down to this weekly fair value gap, and it looks like it was also a level of interest I had drawn out here in the 550 to 580 zone. So finding a buyer there makes me feel a little bit better. It's not doing the full thing and breaching over our weekly trigger, I believe it is, the staircase line. Let me think about this. Big level here, right? All these top wicks just getting smashed every single time. It's a big pivot. And then you have this little volume drop off before this next big spike starts. And that's essentially where this line is. There. You got to wait for the close, at least of a daily candle over this 712. 712 is the height of this volume shelf here. It could still get rejected here at the 736. That's going to be really where you start cooking. If you get a close over 736, this thing should make a beeline for 8. And if you look at it, we basically have two major nodes of volume. And you can kind of think about them like a B shape here. So it's hard to get over the bottom peak, the apex of this arch. But once it does, it very likely goes to the apex, the peak of the top arch, essentially saying this was the magnet holding us down. There's a lot of accumulation, a lot of buyers here. And eventually, when it moves away from this big point, it should search for another large volume area because it has a lot of people in it, a lot of institutions loading in from this level, and they want to unload at the next big level up where there's enough liquidity to get all of these shares, this massive bar of shares, unloaded up into these sellers here. Or buyers here, I should say. Anyways, yes, so that is what I'm seeing for bull here, basically. I think it will, within the next couple weeks to months, try to go for that 8 and then eventually the 10. This is the kind of central node here where it's going to really want to get up there, and then it probably rejects back to one of these levels that we talked about down here before making its move up. Long term, I'm bullish, but it can take a while. I have no position, and I don't intend to unless I really see a reason through 750. Tyler wants HON. We're talking Honeywell International. So industrial stock here. It's been trading sideways for quite a while. We talked about this one a while ago. I forgot what we were really saying about it, though. I think it was something about buying dips into this 224. So been doing nothing for a couple weeks. Potential inverted head and shoulder on the weekly here. We are catching the monthly trigger here. So this is purple staggered line represents monthly support. That is rising. It's been respected each time so far. I would expect it to respect again. So going into a daily, we can, I would expect it to, but now that I look at things a little closer, it actually looks pretty ugly. We're seeing the oscillator start to expand downwards. We saw it try to transact the top half of this high volume node. This is the high volume node. Here's the bottom that we're testing. We'll clone that, and you can see there's the top half of this real tight range that we're trading in. Let's define this a little bit better here. I like to go from like the bottom of the shelf to like the peak of the shelf at the bottom area here. And that usually aligns with the lowest candle body of one of these ranges or a gap up like we saw here. So this is a very nice level for me, and you can see that it just aligns with the 200-day moving average. If we lose this, and it looks like we may, then this thing can expand down decently. I don't think it's ready, and I don't know why. I don't know much about the fundamentals of this name here. The monthly oscillator is a little dubious, but it could just be at its catch, at its pivot before it moves its way back up and higher. I would say the inflection point, probably the 220, yeah, 225. And if we lose there, then it goes to the weekly moving average, this big point of control down at 205. And that's where I'd look for potentially accumulating. All right, what else we got? Hoka. Absolutely. Is the stock Hoka? Is that the brand? No, they're Decker, right? D-E-C-K, I believe. Decker's Outdoor Corporation. I do believe they hold Hoka and they hold Uggs and maybe Timberlands. They got the Tims on too. Deadass B. I don't know. Do New Yorkers still like Tims? That's all. I don't know. Anyways, we have Decker. It's hanging out. I think that it's going to catch pretty soon. I can't buy it till it gets back over 105. You see that big volume shelf, that big point of control sitting right around 100. Realistically, probably it's a dip worth buying if it shows life at 93, 94, somewhere around there. Otherwise, you buy the dip probably 80-ish or something. I don't know. I have to look into the fundamentals a little bit better, but everybody I know is raving about Hokas. And there's one more. Let me double check on the ticker. What is it? On? Is this the shoe company? Looks like a shoe company. This one's still kind of interesting too. It's in a big cup and handle. Someday I think this will break out. Not sure when it'll be, but it is on my radar. Kind of similar, both in the time that it IPO'd and in the way that it's progressing to a trade that's been great for us this year so far. Bros, and this chart is still absolutely juiced. As soon as this thing pulls back to a key level, I'm just adding again. I'd love to get back in at 66.50 here. I took the trade from 55-ish, 55.50, cashed out mostly into 66.50. I had one runner that I sold into 70. That one's been good for us. We had September calls, 75 strike. I think that this thing goes to 75 pretty quick. So going to be looking to get back involved in those pretty soon. Let's get through some more comments here. PDYN, Paladine. All right, and by the way, this is going to be the last chart. Sorry, I did run over here, but we do have to wrap up. So we're going to do one more chart, and then I'm just going to ask you all to come on back to Power Hour tomorrow and bring your charts, guys. We're going to be doing the same thing there. If I didn't get to you now, I definitely want to. You can reach out reach out to me on my Discord. I'm going to drop that in a second. But in general, bring your charts over tomorrow, guys. We're going to be doing a lot more chart work. We're going to be giving away a whole bunch of accounts because you guys have been absolutely awesome today. Appreciate all of the engagement, all of the views, all those likes. If you haven't given us a like, we would really appreciate that. And bear with me while I grab my Discord for you as well. Need to get a fresh link. Make sure that it'll last a while here. There we go. All right, so that's here. We're going to look at Paladine, then we are going to wrap it on up, guys. But, oh my goodness, Nike just got a... I won't repeat that. Nike just got a big candle. God candle, let's take a look. See what they said. Boom. Well, there you go. That's why we sold where we sold. Bada bing, bada boom. If we were watching and we weren't out of the trade on this candle right here, then we would have said, hey, high or low here, held on the break of the W. And remember, the W is the pattern where you flush out, there's a small capitulation, price comes back up to a meaningful level, in this case, just the falling 9. comes back down and affirms that this bottom was valid. It does that by creating the higher low. And then when you break through the neckline there, that's when you usually get a straight trend. That's what you see there, a little straight trend. You could say, you could get really granular, take the middle of the W to the bottom of the W and say, all right, here's your targets, just hit this one, about to hit this one. Nice little scalperoonie there. I don't know what they said. Honestly, I don't really care. But Matt said something good. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Each and every one of you, I see big numbers in the chat. So thank you guys. We're going to let our poor producer Ayush go. It's late for him, but thank you so much, Ayush, and everybody else. Till next time, guys, trade safe, be cool. I don't know what I'm talking about. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early. Have a good one, guys.